In this video, I want to explore how I approach the beginning of a project and the way that I move forward from gathering my ideas, not even gathering ideas, getting inspiration, just getting started, the places I look, how I do that. And we're going to be doing a fast-forwarded version. I don't want to be dragging it over too long, so we're going to do a really quick build on getting to this final product, or this rough draft actually. We're going to be building up to the rough draft you see on the screen now, where I go from zero, no idea at all, looking at layouts, getting inspired by things, figuring out the colors I want, finding images, and all of that. And we're going to be looking at how we can do that in this video. Hi there, my name is Kevin, and welcome to my channel where we learn how to make the web and how to make it look good with weekly tips, tricks, and tutorials. And I am so excited about this project. I've asked you guys what software you want to look at more with design. Figma XD. Figma was the clear winner, so we are going to be looking at Figma. But before I get into that, I am going to be looking a bit at my process of how I even get to before I start designing, when it comes to researching, gathering assets, all of that other stuff. And I'm very happy to say that this video is being brought to you by Eagle. Eagle is this really cool application and browser extension that it just makes all of this stuff so much easier. They asked if they could sponsor one of my videos, and I was going to do a little shout out at the beginning like this just to explain it. But it's such a cool product, and it's something that I've actually started using within my workflow. I said, instead of doing a little shout out like this, I want to talk about it by showing you how I'm actually using it. So we're going to be doing that in this video. We're going to see that it is super useful for your research, for collecting assets, just staying organized, because image and asset management can be a bit of a pain in the butt. So it is a really cool product. And to get through all of this, what we're going to be doing is building a website for a personal trainer that is now, we're in this world of social distancing where gyms, I know they're reopening and stuff, but I had this idea that, a personal trainer who could do it virtually, and they're starting to try and push their services that way as much as possible. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and let's jump into the research part. So the very first thing I do is I Google. I don't Google, that's not true. I often start on either Dribbble or Pinterest, and for both of these, I'm going to start on Dribbble, and I don't want to be following, I want to be searching on my popular, and let's just try fitness. And it doesn't even have to be within exactly the niche that I'm looking for, but I do like sort of making sure I'm within the range there, at least to start with. And I'm going to look, I don't know if I'll see anything under fitness. I might look up personal trainer in a second. I sort of like this. But at this research stage, it's really about grabbing as much as you can. And this is where the Eagle extension is really cool. So actually, let's open Eagle first here. And this is what Eagle looks like, where you can just collect stuff. And I want to make a new library here, and let's just call it personal trainer website. Whoops, got to spell things good, and create library. And I get, I have to say where I want it to be saved in. So let's do that really fast. We need a new folder here, so personal trainer, and hit save. There we go. So we've told it where we want to save our stuff, and I'm actually not going to be coming back here for a little while because I have the extension here. And so Eagle, it's an extension on the Chrome store, and I want this image. I just click and drag a little bit, and look at that. Instead of like dragging off to a folder you have like down, I often would save everything onto my desktop and then move it off to the folder I want. This is my favorite thing. I click, I drag a little bit, and this just comes up, and I can drop it in, and I can even choose folders within that. We'll get to that in a bit, though. I'm just going to drop it in here. I just want ideas and things that are sort of speaking to me, which I don't see a lot of right now. So I'm actually going to do a bit of a different search. Let's try personal trainer. That's really cool. Let's grab that. It's not exactly what I want. Oh, and this is interesting because this is actually a video or a movie, right? So I can grab that and drop it in. And that's cool, it still takes it. And let's just see, there's a few things in here. Oh, that's nice. I'm just grabbing anything. If it looks nice, I'm grabbing it. When I say looks nice, like if it speaks to me in a certain way. So I'm just grabbing a whole bunch of stuff here and dropping it in. Cool. Another thing that's cool, and one of the reasons I like Pinterest when I'm doing searches for stuff, is if I do personal trainer website, a lot of time you get templates, but the templates do look pretty nice, right? So like this one looks pretty nice. So I could just grab this and grab the image of it, which is Now, another thing I really like though is instead of grabbing like the image like that, let's go check this one out. So, you know, as we said, we could grab my image itself and grab that, which is a screenshot of the whole thing. So that's cool. But these are usually, these templates give us live views, right? So if I go to the live view here, there's a few things I could do. If there's certain elements on it that I liked, well, fancy loading screen here. But if there's certain elements, oh wait, it's one of these ones. Okay, let's just click you. If there's some things that I like on this, like I'm not really a huge fan of the navigation. Let's pretend, oh, there's a weird arrow here for stuff. Okay, whatever. All right, let's say I like this on only that. So I could capture that. And I know there's ways, if you're on like a Mac, you can really easily do capture areas and stuff. And there's tools on Windows too that I have. But the thing I love about this is as soon as I hit save, it's, you know, if you do a screenshot on a Mac, it's going on your desktop and then you got to organize it. This saved into that folder I had set up. So I have that exactly where I want it to be, which is really, really nice. Or if you want the whole page, and again, there's other tools for stuff like this, but what I love about it is I have the capture page. It's going to scroll through the whole page, take a screenshot of the entire thing automatically, and then stitch it all together. And again, I know Firefox Dev Tools has something like this where you can do it, but the nice thing with this is it's automatically saving it to where I want it to be. So if I go and look in here, you can see right there, I have the entire page. You know, this is the screen, the small one I did, here's that, here's all the other things I've been grabbing, and they're all in one place. And this is really, really cool. And I love this just for getting my ideas together. The other thing that's really nice with this, and I don't know if there's any, these look like SVGs. Can I grab them? Let's see if this works. I want to see if I can steal their SVG right there. Let's go and see if it was. Oh, that wasn't, it was a PNG. That's okay. I know Apple, or I'm assuming Apple has an SVG. So if ever you're on a site and you're trying to get SVGs, this little, you drag, drop it in. Let's go check. And yeah, you can see it grabbed the SVG. So yeah, the amount of times I've done like an inspect element to try and steal SVGs from stuff, so easy, and I love that. So a nice, easy way to be able to do that. So I'm going to fast forward a bit as I continue doing my research here and getting ideas, and then I'll see you on the other side. All right, so I've gotten a bit more stuff. I haven't gone too crazy over the top, but I've got a bit more extra stuff in here. And one of the things I like about Eagle here is one cool thing is we can actually search by color on stuff. So if I click on the red here, you can see it doesn't work perfectly, as you can see, but it is grabbing things that are predominantly red. So it's grabbing that one. If I go with the dark colors, or I wonder if I can get the orange, or it's getting, see the big background of orange. If I go with the black, it's grabbing a lot of stuff because there's black. So if you want to quickly organize by color, it seems to always be the predominant color, but it still works really, really well just for like quick things and without any organizing on your own. But you can also come through here and organize stuff a little bit more. So all of this really are my ideas. So I'm just going to shift click, get everything here. So with everything selected here, I can add new tags. So I just want to write inspiration. And everything's been tagged with that. And even we could organize a little bit more with folders. So I could make an inspiration folder and actually move everything into there. So if I go to my all, and just drag it in. You can also do it that way. So if you prefer tags or you prefer that, you could also come through it in the inspiration ones. And one thing I like doing, because I like grabbing just whatever I like and then sort of spending a bit more time actually looking at it. So this one, I like the use of images and sort of these square things. It's not my favorite, but there's some interesting things. Let's go to the next one actually. The dark, the colors, not so much. There's a lot of these that have red, so I'm sort of not leaning towards those as much. This one's fun with the illustrations, but I don't plan on using illustrations. Oh, you can also see that it's picking out the colors that are being used, and it's actually giving you the hex code. So if you see a website you really like, you steal it. Super easy to get all, or not that all the colors probably, but the main colors that are being used in it. So that's neat too. This one I like a lot actually. The big image here, it's cut out. We have, it's nice, it's simple. We might do something very much being inspired by this. That's kind of cool. So this, I could come in here and they had concept. They have default things that are coming up in here. And look at that gym, landing page, page, sport. Is that based on the name of the image? Curious how they did that. I don't even know. But I think, oh, here you go. It has Jim. Yeah, it's coming from the image itself. That's kind of neat though. It's automatically trying to figure those out. But what I want to do is I like the fonts and the colors that are used here actually, but I'm just going to write font on that. And then this one too, I really like the fonts, so I can write font, and I like the colors here. So if I write, if I come in here and do color, these are mostly for my inspiration, but in the way you use tags is completely up to you, obviously. This one I like the colors a lot. I like that gradient that's coming in there. I'm just really quickly going through these. I don't really need the icon. I don't care. Let's just move a little bit faster. I sort of like the layout of this one, so I could say layout. And then the nice thing is I can come in and say I'm on my all, but I want to search, and I come up to here, search. I'm going to start writing layout, and actually I just put the letter L, and it's smart enough to start figuring out a little bit of what I'm looking for until it finally gets to my layout. But it's a bit of a, you can see flatbed even, but it is like a fuzzy search. I had color, so if I do C-O-L, it's, you know, we're slowly getting there, but it, you know, I don't have to write the whole word, which is always nice. And I get the ones that I tag for the colors that I liked, and they're popping up right there. So you can sort of come down. There's lots of other ways you can do it, and you can actually make smart folders, which is kind of cool. So I don't want name necessarily, but I can say tags are choose color. Let's call it colors I like. Great. And now automatically, anytime I tag something with colors, it's going to show up in here. And then I could have layouts I like and all those other things, and quickly and easily get around and navigate that way. So that's pretty cool, I think, and I like that a lot. At this stage of my project, when I have all these ideas, what I usually do is I usually actually take a break. I walk away for a while because I don't want to steal anybody's idea. I don't want to walk away with exactly what I often find like 2 layouts that I really, really like, and I don't want them to inspire me too much. I want the idea of them to be there. And I usually spend a lot more time in this, but I'm gathering ideas, looking at inspiration as much as possible, and I'll focus on certain elements. I really want to be looking at cool fonts now, I want to be looking at this now, and I'll just be grabbing as much as I possibly can to inspire me. And then the next stage is take a break, relax, go do something else for the rest of the day, work on some other projects, do some coding stuff, nothing design for a while. So those ideas can sort of circulate in my head. I can figure out and think of the, I'm not focused on them, but those ideas are there. They're turning in my head. And then the next day I come to my computer and I can actually start designing. So we're gonna head on over to Figma, and I have a blank file right here. We have a nice big blank canvas, and I'm just gonna click on the artboard tool there, and we'll go with a regular desktop one. I'm not gonna go too crazy with a whole bunch of layouts. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna select my artboard, and I do wanna open up my grids. So here, layout grid, I can click on the plus sign. It always does this type of grid. I'm going to switch that over, and you can have multiple grids in Figma, but I just want my columns, 12 column grid, because it's the easiest from a design perspective to work on a 12 column grid, just because you can do 3 or 4 or 2, and you have lots of options. That's why all the other ones did. 1440, so I'm going to do like a 210 margin, so I'm working at 1200 as my max width. That's my idea there. Gutter 20 works perfectly for me. I'm not going to overthink this too much. And let's get started with some text. So I'm going to do a big text box here, and we're just going to go with virtual one-on-one personal training. And I need another text box after that, but we'll start with this one. Actually, I'm just going to hit K, which is a scale. That's not going to work. Double click in the corner, hit K, and make that a lot bigger. And we want to make that bold. Now, at one point, I'll get a bit more precise with my fonts, but for now, I think just having, we're just doing a rough layout right now. Let me go back to V, which is my regular move tool. And I want to make this, see, my font's a bit too big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is good, but let's bring this down to 42 maybe. Just so I can fit it on 2 lines, because I think it looks a little bit nicer. And then I need a text box here. And actually, I have a plugin. So if I go to Lorem Ipsum here in my plugins, 2 sentences is probably going to be perfect. And we can do something like that with just a little bit of text. going over 5 columns. The reason I'm doing 5 is because I'm thinking we could bring in like a big image or maybe even like a big video here. So something like that. And this is where like I would, again, I've looked at my layouts a lot. I've studied them. I have some ideas of what I want to do already. Actually, Jordan, if this was a real important project, I would have also sketched some stuff out and had some ideas here. But let's say this is a little video with some round corners on there. I think it's O. Yeah, I always mix up E and O just because of the different software that I use. So we'll make a little play button here in the middle. It's probably too big right now. Center, center. And I don't know what the polygon shortcut is here. Polygon, there is none. That's why I don't know it. And just like that, we have a play button. I'm holding shift down. So when you hold shift, like the angle snaps a little bit. Whereas if you let go of shift, it's impossible to line it up perfectly. So just hold shift here and select both of them. Center, center. Group that. So I'm just doing a Control G, or if you're on a Mac, it'd be Command G. And then select that. Center, center. Command G, and it groups the whole video player all together. So if I select one, everything gets selected. I can select my whole desktop here and just turn off that grid for a second. So you can, we're, whoops, didn't mean to do that. We're just coming in here and let's get all that selected. There we go, finally. And move that down maybe a little bit. I'd probably have a navigation on here as well and like a logo and stuff, but I just want to look at getting the basics of this together. Now I do think I would come in, it might look nice here. R for rectangle. Let's just draw a big box. Put that in the back. That's a shift, control, and square bracket, opening square bracket to move it all the way to the back. You can also right click and I don't even know where it is here. I'm assuming arrange. Is it arrange? Select layer? No. I don't know. You can drag it here too if you want. It's on front. You can drag it down. It goes in back. Send back, send forward. There you go. You can see them there. I don't know if you can do it here. Interesting. Oh, there it is. It was right there in front of me. Send forward, send back. So send to back is what I was doing. And on that, I'm going to choose a greenish color because I decided I think it would be nice to go with some green. Maybe a bit more yellow. Something like that. And a bit brighter. I'll go with that. And then I'd always suggest if you want a gradient, start with one of your colors and then choose the gradient because sometimes it helps. Nah, it didn't. Maybe I'm thinking of XD actually. I go back and forth between the two, so sometimes I mix up. So I'm going to select the other side on here and just darken this whole thing up. And I want it to be a bit more greeny, so we can move this over. Something like that will probably look okay. And we'll just do a nice gradient going across like that. That's perfect for me. And I'm not gonna stress too much about the colors, but I'd probably make that change these away from pure black at one point. Now here I don't want to. And right now I'm really just worried about like rough layout, but I know some people when they do wireframing, they're just pulling in like their regular colors, like grays. I like having a little bit of the colors I plan on using, just so it doesn't, it gives me a bit of an idea. I'm just going to option drag this down, or it's alt drag. Whoops, there we go. Whoops, alt drag. There we go. It worked that time. Center align it, and let's change the text. Something for everyone. Like that. We want to make sure it's centered, so I can center it just like that. And here we can do like some cards. So I'm just going to do a rectangle. I'm just going to make one for now. You're going to see this is kind of fun. So this will eventually have an image on it. We're going to get there in a little bit. Let's bring some text in here though. Whoops. We're going to do cardio. Cardio. K again. Shrink it down a bit. Bring it on top with, I'm just ordering it there. So we have my cardio. And then let's go grab you. Bring it to the front. And actually we'll need a bit more room, but this needs to be a lot shorter. There we go. And shrink that down too. So this would be like a nice simple card type of thing. So there's different types of training. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into a component, which I think I always forget because there's a K there too. Control Alt K. There we go. So this is a component now. And what I like about making components is if I decide that they should, actually let's just select all of those and group it for a second so I can center it. Let's say I go and I'm going to ungroup this. There we go. On this component, if I decide, this is like my master component. So if I change the font size here, wrong one, K for scale, and I make that bigger, they're all going to get bigger together. So it just makes it really easy to work if I do need to make a change on any of them, which is really, really cool and handy. There's some other cool things you can do with the auto layout as well, but I don't think I need it on this guy. But here we have, so the cardio, and then what's nice about this is even though it's a component, I can come in and change this. So say we have component and then strength. I guess we'll have to make this bigger. And actually, I think I'll do it on this one. If I make that bigger, since it's center aligned text, it's just making this text box bigger all the way along. Flexibility, and what else do we have? Home gym, people that have a home gym. I know it's not quite the same as those others, but there we go. And again, some images would eventually come onto that. Let's just grab something like this. Option, drag it all down, make a new section. And I could be a bit more organized with my layers, but we'll get there eventually. I don't want a video, so we can get rid of you. All of this can go center aligned. Whoops, this center here. And again, I'm just trying to stay pretty simple. Here we can do try for free. Double click to shrink that down. Option or Alt drag just so it stays, like if I do this, it's going to go that way. But if I'm holding down Alt or Option, if you're on a Mac, it's going to drag both sides out at the same time, which is handy. All right, so we need a button. So again, I'm just doing this pretty fast just to have a rough layout that we can use. Let's shrink that down. Sign up now, I guess, would be decent text. Let's zoom in a little bit, which is spacebar and control, or spacebar, and you have to do the spacebar first, then the control, or if you're on a Mac, command, because if you do command or control first and then spacebar, nothing happens. That drove me nuts for the longest time, and actually that looks kind of big. If you want 100% too, it's shift and then 0, or you can do a shift, I think if you have a selection, let's just try that, shift 2. We'll zoom in onto your selection, and then the shift 0 will go to 100%. But it doesn't work with the number, your numpad. It works with the numbers on the top, which threw me off because I'm so used to the other ones. So if I do that, you want to look at 100% to see how big something is, even if you're zooming in to work on it. Let's give this a... and I'm going to make this a component too, because what's important here with making this into a component, since it's a button, and this is a cool thing with Figma. So if I do my create component, Control Alt K, I'm not doing it. Actually, before I did that, I should center these properly. Where'd it go? What's selected right now? Oh, because it... Okay, let's undo the component. So if I select those, let's just center them first. And then let's turn them into a component, which is Control Alt K. And now it's a component. And the reason I like making buttons components is because I will use this auto layout. And auto layout pretty much becomes padding. And so you can see the padding's changing on it. And I can do padding up and down too. And this is space between items, so I don't have that working right now, so it doesn't matter because we only have one. But actually, I might increase that and then hit center. Is this stuff not centered on the page? Center? Center. No. Anyway, whatever, it's centered. So here with that, then if let's just do it like that. But the nice thing with this is if the text changes, hello, you can see like, hello world, it's growing and shrinking with it. Such a cool feature. I love it so much. And I think even, I'm trying to remember how, but I think on my component, yeah, I could do center. So actually, if my text is changing, hello, it's changing from the middle instead of changing from the left like it was before. So sign up for free. Let's do that. I think that's a better call to action. I'm going to leave it gray for now. We can always, this is again a really rough draft. And let's just make sure all that is properly centered. There we go. And I think something like that will be pretty good. We can do one more thing. Let's actually turn on my grid again. There is a shortcut to grab that. I forget what it is though. Let's just turn my grid back on. Oh, I made those without being on a grid. That was silly of me. Let's fix that. And this is where the space between, I think, actually could work. But they're all the right size now, so it should sort of snap into place. There we go. That was silly of me. Okay, and do I... Oh, these should all be centered too when doing that. There we go. I want to do sort of a 3-column thing here, so let's just drag... Whoops, wrong thing. Option, drag that down. Plans for all skill levels. My idea here is we would have some sort of card or component or something, but we'll have 3. So I'm just going to draw a box for now to say that there's 3 of them. Each one of these will have some sort of icon. So for now, I don't have the icons. So let's just put a darker circle maybe to say that that's going to be an icon, which will be centered. And I guess I could have made a component here too, instead of doing it 3 times. So let's do that. It makes a lot more sense. And I'm going to steal. So we should do like a basic plan, I guess. Right? So basic can go right there. This text line should be middle, so I can drag that bigger. Same here, we can center that. We probably want a bit of text to explain what's happening. Something like that. I don't really know if I want a background on that. We could just do something like that. Stretch all that out so it's taking up that much space. And turn that into a component. Alt-Control-K. Control-Alt-K. Oops, that was a mistake because I stretched out my... That became an oval. So I'm just undoing that so I can just make sure those are that full size. Bring that right in the middle. Now we can do it. People get mad at me because I say my shortcuts in the wrong order. Sorry about that if I infuriate you a little bit. So basic, we could do... experienced, and here I guess this can be like a pro plan or something. And we could bring in sign up for free. I think this could just be changed now to sign up under each one. Whoops. And this, you know, we could do something a bit more complicated here where it's like most popular and things like that, but something like that could probably work out okay. And then we need some kind of footer. You know, in general, we'd come in with a footer on that too. But I think I'm going to leave it there for now just because, you know, you're getting the idea of how I'm working and the approach that I'm taking on this, where I'm just trying to build out a rough wireframe and getting the idea down of the type of layout that I want to be doing. I have the different parts of my layout that I'm trying to do. The next fun part that comes in is getting the images into here. So let's open this up, and you can try a few different places. I like getting my images from Pexels or Unsplash, 2 awesome sources. And let's just try fitness. Something like this is pretty cool. So this is where what I'm actually going to do is open up Eagle first, and I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call this assets. So these are ones that I actually want to be using on the site itself, or at least ones that I potentially would be using. So here when I clicked, I'm going to open it because I want the full-sized version. When I click and drag, instead of dragging and dropping it here, which would just, if I drag and drop it there, it places it just in my uncategorized area. Whereas if I take it and I drag and drop, but I do choose folder, I can say where I want to put it. So I want to save it in my assets. And this is also cool. It knows I already have that image and it's saying, are you sure you want to bring it? So I could actually say, just use the existing one. Don't import. I'm going to import it anyway, but using the existing item. And hit import, and it's going to bring it into my assets folder, just so I don't have 2 copies of it. This is pretty cool too. Download. Download. I'm doing the wrong thing now. Grab this. That's kind of cool. So I'll click on there, just drag, choose folder, and save it right in that. So it is an extra step, and you don't have to work this way. Like say I just grab this and drag it in there, just to show you that we can do it. This is personal training. I'm going kind of like that, you know. I don't need, like something like that I guess could work. So let's just, I'm going to drag a few in here without putting them in the folder though. Let's just get a few more. Even let's just home gym, because that's a category that I want to have, and that one's a pretty good image too, actually. And just don't grab like this, because it's giving me the small one. When you click through, it's bringing you to the full-sized image usually. So that one, let's just drag and drop. Not a lot of great ones there. Let's try Unsplash. Whoops. Unsplash.com. There we go. A few tries. What we got there? That's kind of cool. I like the black and white ones. But they're all kind of like heavy duty, eh? They're all at gyms. Oh, that wouldn't be good for maybe the... I'm going to grab you. That looks good for personal trainer, but not for virtual. A lot of these are really intense. People are... Oh, that would... No, I don't know if I'll use it, but I'm going to grab it anyway. And again, choose folder. And you could even do more organization than I'm doing here, obviously. Okay. Anyway, I think I might grab a few off screen in a second. I'll keep my trying. But what I wanted to show you here is what I can do. In my assets, I forgot. I didn't put them all in my category. So just here, I can grab the ones that I wanted. I'm just control clicking to grab all of those. And I can just drag them over here into assets. And if I go into there, you can see it's dropped them all into there. So this is my all category. So everything is here. Uncategorized, I have nothing because I've categorized these. I've organized them a little bit. So that's going to help. It's showing the dimensions of everything, which is kind of cool. And I could definitely tag these then. So I could, go through and spend a bit of time saying this would be, what was it? Flexibility. So flexibility. That one too would probably be under the same thing. So it's there. I can just add the tag. Workout. I don't know. I'm just coming up with some really quick ones. That one would be workout 2, I guess. That one could be workout 2. You get the idea. Weights. And you start getting all these tags and stuff to like, so if you're, when it's time to actually look, I can either use my smart folders again and organize those if I had tons of stuff. Or I could just come in my tags and go, I only want the ones with weights in it, so then I can quickly work that way. Now, one thing I could do is I could actually come and just drag and drop things into Figma and use them like that, but it's not the best way to work in Figma. So there are times where you definitely could do it that way. But to me, the easiest thing is once you've organized your files properly, if you are using Eagle, is to eventually, you don't want people to have all your stuff because you might end up with tons of stuff. You have a whole bunch of SVGs you're not going to be using. You have all your images. You don't want them, give them your inspiration. You just want to give them the images that need to be used. Or if this is yourself, another way to work. Because the way it organizes things, it's hard to dig into a little bit. But you can right click on a folder and you can actually export an Eagle package or just export to computer. So in this case, I want to do an export to computer. And in the personal trainer, like the library here is the way they organize things, which is going to be a bit confusing. But here in the right place, I can just hit save. And then what it's going to do is it's going to give me this assets folder with the images that I wanted. And this is perfect. It's exactly what I need. So what I can do now is I can come over to you in Figma where I have rectangle, star, blah, blah, blah. I have a place image. And in there, here's my personal trainer and assets. And then I can place the images I want. So I'm going to go with you, and you, I think, for this part. And I'll just hit open. And because it's a place image, I can just click on the box that I want to do it, even though these are components. So I'll do that in home gym. I'll put you in flexibility. I'll put you in strength, and I took the wrong one for cardio, but I'll put it there for now. We'll pretend that's a good cardio image. I could change that one actually. Let's get a better place image. Do I have one of a person running? Not really, eh? It's probably strength, but out of the images I grabbed, I didn't get any good cardio ones, and that looks like it would probably be, oh, I can't even see the image though. I think if I go on the image, can't I move it? Whatever, we'll pretend that's a good cardio image. These, I guess, would probably be better. And we're not going to be able to see them all, so I'm going to do a white on there. But I think what I'm going to do is come in with another rectangle underneath them. Let's just draw a rectangle there. So this will be a gradient as well, going from black to black. But this one will be fully visible, and this one will be transparent. And of course, that should be, let's grab my square. So there it is. So here's my rectangle. So if I do a cut, whatever, cut, paste, it's there. So if I go into component 1, which is my master component, and I paste it, there you go, you can see it's on all of them, so I can move that down. And just to make sure that it's visible, you know, it helps, especially here on that, I can even move that up a little bit, just so we can read the text a little bit more. So there we go, and even here we could, so again, a place image, because I had my assets, and let's go with something like that. This, I guess, could be a bit more transparent. So what do we want to do next? We have that image in place, we have those. Here I was going to put some icons. These are a little stretched. Whoops. I think I'm going to fix up this button right now. We're sort of coming through, as we come in, so as we come through here and we have our images that are coming into place, obviously the site starts looking a little bit nicer. So let's fix up our button here. I think the color, I'm going to go with I don't know, I was going to try a dark blue, and this is where actually some sites that can be nice. I had been using, I'm just going to show, the other one is my color space. So the two that I use for colors a lot are coolers.co, and this, the generator's been improved a little bit, so I sort of like here that we can get different stuff, and this one's nice too just because here we can get like our different colors that come in and get some different ideas. So the easiest thing to do, in all honesty, is on my document here, if I, I'm going to sort of cheat a little bit just to grab this color. So if I pop that color into here, it gives me a color scheme that I can use. And you can see it has sort of a gradient style, but then you can start getting these other things. So this is a little bit of what I was thinking for my button. So let's try that out and see what it looks like. It doesn't pop a ton. Whoops, and this should go back to being black. And even actually that might look nice as this color. No, it's not dark enough. It's not quite, well, I mean, that's not terrible. With the white text, it does sort of pop off a little bit more. And one thing I'm going to do actually for a lot of elements, just because I rounded the corners on this video player, I do think that I'll go to my master component here. And I do think I'd want to have round corners on everything. So here, I don't know, 20. That's way too much. 10. Something like that, probably be okay. Oh, and I didn't even realize it. When I did this, you see how these ones don't look like they're round? That's because of the gradient that I had. So I just want to match those numbers. I think there's a way of doing a mask, but again, I think we're just doing a rough layout right now. So that's looking pretty good. And actually, I'm kind of happy with that. This, I want to increase that a little bit. Maybe we'll bring that up to 10. Which, that seemed to... Let's just fix my buttons here. Now these buttons look way too big. I thought I'd set that up a little more, but anyway, that's okay. We'll fix the buttons up a little bit more. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how things are starting to look. I need to grab some icons. And just a nice place to get icons is the Noun project. So we will look up fitness. Actually, this is pricing. Pricing, and you can get all sorts of stuff here. I was sort of hoping for like actually I should just go with like a $sign. It's not the best idea. Or wait, what if I did something like this? Can we get like a weight? I'm wondering. These, oh, I can grab these. Is that going to work as an SVG? Let's see if I can grab one. Now, this is the Noun project, so I'm going to be getting them for free, so I should be attributing them. Let's just go, can I grab, see, sometimes from these sites you can't just click and drag. So I'm just going to say, let's just get this icon. I want to make sure, we need to attribute. So I am gonna download it because I do want to show. So wait, it's by Prettycons. So thank you, Prettycons. I am gonna save the PNG here, just because I do want to show you that if you have something and you want to bring it into your Ego folder, but it's already on your computer. Let's just go to my uncategorized and drag that in. It's really easy to do. You just drag it in and now I have my SVG there. So that's nice and simple. And then I can grab my SVG from here and literally is maybe not the right word, but I can just drag it into here and I have my SVG that's been placed. And that's kind of cool actually with the circle behind it. Wasn't what I was planning. But this would be, probably a good case for like different icons coming through, but let's just do a nice simple icon like that. Let's see, can I get my circle ellipse? What if I did something like that? And this could come in, because that's an SVG. That's my SVG, right? I should be able to change the color of it. There we go. So I mean, that sort of actually was a happy accident, but it looks pretty good. But each one should be a little bit different. So what I was actually like, I was gonna do like a double dumbbell or something like that for the second one, but I don't think it's gonna work with what I grabbed. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it like that for now, because again, I'm doing a rough draft. I'm not doing the final version. But then we could come up with better icons, or maybe it's not plans. I was thinking of like 2 and 3 because I was gonna do dollar signs or something, but whatever. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. But just to give you an idea of how we can start coming up with a nice rough layout of things. And I do want to change these colors because I find all the text being black or white isn't fantastic. So let's just see if we can get a nice color to use. Maybe that, but I'm thinking of like a darker, and that's where sometimes I like coming into here and actually putting all the colors in that I had. And I haven't been saving my colors because you can save... I know I can save colors, but I keep mixing up Figma's. I know I can get my colors down here in Figma, but can't I also save them somewhere else? I'm not sure, but let's just bring this color. So here I can just put it in, then I can grab my dark color. I'm just gonna eyedrop here to get the dark one. Whoops, I wanna go over to here and bring that one in. And I can lock those and then just hit spacebar and it's going to give me new colors I can use. So always fun. Oh, purple. Oh, this one. I might go with that. And even let's lock that. Let's see if how this actually looks. I keep doing command. I'm used to using apps. When I'm using that bright color, I'm thinking for this. It might look better for my buttons. It's going to stand out more. Maybe not perfect, but it's not bad actually. I might do that. But I definitely need a different color for my text. So let's lock that one. Let's see what that looks like. Not a massive fan, to be honest. Like there, I sort of like the color and it's actually pulling in from there. This, I would probably leave it as black, or if it wasn't black, it would be like a really dark gray. Something like that would probably be fine. Yeah, actually, that's not bad. And there we go. We start coming up with something decent. I'm not sure about these sign up buttons or that color that I have on there, but overall, I'm sort of happy with how this is coming together and how it's all working. I think it's looking pretty good overall, and it gives you an idea of how I like to work and how I like to start working on projects. And I think what I'm going to do is continue working on this. I want to show you some cool things we can do in Figma, but in more broken down. This was more of like a general overview. Let's get started on a project really fast. The ideas that I do. So again, it's always, I start off with just research and grabbing as many things as I can to sort of organize and get them all together, because I like having just ideas and then I sleep in those ideas, I let it go on the side, and then I'll start building a rough layout. I often will sketch things out and get ideas there and then start building them here and building as many things as I can on the computer, but just rough layouts, boxes, putting everything in place, start bringing in colors. I haven't even played with fonts yet. But just bringing things in and then start getting actual assets and actual images that I want to be using and then bringing those into the site itself as well. And then you sort of start building up towards something. Now I'm not a huge fan. I'd probably, I don't think I'd want to reuse the gradient in the two sections so quickly. Maybe there's a few other things along the way here that I would change. But overall, you start getting the layout that you want to get to. You start getting the things in the right direction. And then everything starts falling into place. And I really do feel that, especially for when it comes to getting all of my ideas and all my research done, Eagle has helped me out so much. And it's something that I've started using on a few different projects now. And I just love how easy it is. Like that click and drag thing is magic. You don't have to, I don't know. I don't have to open a window. I don't have to worry about navigating. It's just all going to the right spot. I find that absolutely fantastic. And also just organizing my images once they're in there is so cool and so much fun. And there's so many cool features in there to help keep you organized and help keep everything together. It is a really cool product. If you do lots of design work, or you need to keep track of your assets, or you have lots of assets that need organizing, I would definitely recommend you check them out. So do make sure you check out the link that is down below and try them out. With that said, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to all my patrons for helping support me in everything I do here on my channel. If you watch this and you enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing. And of course, until next time, don't forget to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome.